Hey guys, welcome back to RHR Jen. Still fighting this cold. Here's another compilation for you of some of the best of the worst of Meghan and Harry. I hope you enjoyed, and I look forward to bringing you brand new stuff very soon. Have the best day. Let's get into this. Honk honk. I have lots to talk to you about, you guys. Okay, so I did a deep dive on this New York trip a while ago. You can actually find this video right here. And if you go to my main page under the So Much Cringe tab, you'll see that video. It's easy to find, or if you just look up my channel name and New York, you'll see this video pop right up. If you know my channel at all, if you know me, I'm Jen by the way, at all, you'll know that I'm obsessed with this trip. This trip was a disaster at every single leg. I mean, let me just refresh your memory. Okay, this was 2021. This was their first tour after leaving the royal family. And I'm using the words like that because nobody knew what it was, including Dumb and Dumber, Harry and Meghan. They didn't know what it was. They treated it like a royal tour, but they were no longer royal. So nobody knew what to do with them. They were just making these stops around New York and making complete and total, whats of themselves. This is where we got this outfit, one of the all-time worst I've ever seen, ever. We'll go into it, but just refreshing your memory on this trip. And again, check out my video if you want all the deep dives on all the things they got wrong on this trip, because so many things at every turn went wrong because they're idiots and they handled it just every wrong move you can make. Okay, funny to watch them scramble in hindsight, but they were scrambling because, again, this is their first gig outside the royal family, and they were pretending like they still, worked back then. By the way, when thinking about this and looking at these pictures, keep in mind that it was like 80 degrees, 26 degrees Celsius during this trip. And look how she's dressed. She's still getting the weather wrong. Why are we talking about this now? Okay, that's my question too. Daily Mail has this new article out that I find completely fascinating. And it says, Harry and Meghan are accused of trying to gag teachers and students at NYC school they visited in 2021 by prohibiting them from making negative social media posts now or in the future. Dun, dun, dun. I find this fascinating. It's not that it surprises me because of course they would do stuff like this. But again, in the video, I go into how they made every single wrong move that you could make. And we'll go into some of the details here, but now they're trying to silence people that were there so they don't speak up about it. Interesting, right? All right, we'll read a little more and then we'll discuss amongst ourselves. Here we go. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle have been accused of trying to gag teachers and students at a New York school they visited 2 years ago. The Duke and, I won't even say their titles, the idiots visited public school 123 Malia Jackson, which is among one of the poorest in New York City. Now keep that in mind because that's going to come up in September 2021. Meghan was dressed in a $5,000 suit and a Cartier watch. Or, I don't know. I'm so mad I can't even think straight. I go over all the jewelry in the other video. But, yeah, her coat cost, let me put the picture back up so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so as mentioned in the article, this is an area where the people are struggling. One of the statistics I found when putting together this video is that I believe it's 94% in the area. The kids depend on the school lunches. Okay. They said that there are 12 area shelters that the kids come from to go to the school. So keep that in mind while this idiot is cosplaying as the Joker and wearing this outfit that, again, let me just remind you, the coat, $5,840. The pants, $1,600. They estimated with her jewelry minus her engagement ring and clothes, she's at about $16,000 for this appearance. Around the time that her book was out, The Bench, and I almost slipped up and called it something else, but my mind goes there with her. Okay, so she's reading her book to these kids. Again, this isn't the story, but I'm setting the stage. And these people have to sit here and take this crap from this woman who is just so tone deaf and unaware. And yes, her doofus husband was there too, and he's tone deaf and unaware as well. But here you go. Take a look at this. Again, totally fine. No, doesn't see the problem with wearing this to such an served, whatever you want to call it, this school where these kids are struggling. All right, let's pick back up with the article. Advisors from their foundation demanded, I won't say that name either, demanded the Harlem school sign a clause ban anyone from making negative comments, according to The Sun. The request was also related to any posts on social media now or in the future. So, okay. Once again, these two are making it about themselves. You're not allowed to talk bad about us. You're not allowed to talk about us now or in the future. Now, let me bring this up. Have you ever heard even rumblings of the royal family doing this? As far as when they go to an appearance or go do a charitable event, whatever it is, this is not a charitable event that they were doing, but I'm saying something like that. When they go to do an event, have you ever heard of them making people sign NDAs to not talk about them in the future? No, I haven't either. Because if you act like a human being, you don't have to have people sign things like that. If you act like monsters like these two allegedly did, then of course you're going to have them sign things like, you're going to try to get people to sign things like that. And by the way, since we're talking about this anyway, I don't go conspiracy theory. It's just not my thing. I know some channels do. It's not my thing. Okay. But I am going to talk about something that comes up a lot when I talk about the story, because the story grosses me out so bad. I do talk about it a lot. And inevitably I get comments. So I'm just telling you what people tell me. I don't have this on fact. It's just something I've heard from quite a few other YouTubers and from you guys in the comments, which is allegedly those books were charged to, see, this is where I get confused. The way I've heard it explained to me, allegedly, those books were charged $5 a piece to these families who are struggling. I'm saying allegedly because I don't have this on fact. This is something I've heard from quite a few people. I would love to know the truth on that one. Let me know in the comments if you've heard the same thing. If that's the case, I would roast her ass. I would roast both of their asses over this, because that's so disgusting. You go there and read them your stupid book and try to move some stupid numbers of your stupid book, and you're going to try to charge them? I don't think so. They suck so bad. I actually hope this is not true. I hope so. I would hope they would have a little more class or dignity than that, but what am I thinking? The other thing I've heard, this is alleged, this is again a rumor. I don't know that it's true. It's just something I've heard I want to discuss with you all. I have heard about this NDA thing. I actually heard about it around the time I was reporting on it, and I don't remember if I mentioned it in my other video or not, that I had heard that this was the thing, because again, I don't like to go into things unless I feel pretty confident or have, sources that verify this stuff with me. So this is alleged, but allegedly, yeah, they got NDAs, and you know what they did? They didn't sign them. Now, I would like to know if that's true or not. I don't know if that's the case. That's another thing that I'm like, I wish some of these people would speak up, some of the people that were there or that were being asked to sign them. I'd heard something about that they had, was it a burning party or something where they burned the NDAs? I think it'd be funny if they burned the books personally, but anyway, whatever happened, it's just disgusting to me. But I find it interesting that this story is coming out now and that people are uncovering this stuff now, because I've been talking about this trip forever. Because again, every step of this trip, they did the worst things possible. And to me, this was like it's hard to pick a worst. This is one of the worst things I've seen because it involves kids. So the visit to this school was documented for their Netflix series. What a joke. Okay, we talked about that. How much she wore. And see here in the article, it points out that 95% of the children are classed as suffering economic hardship. Freedom of information requests have revealed how the couple's advisors at Archewell tried to protect their image. Good luck with that. Now, are these all the ones that have quit? Because I don't think anybody stays on that company for very long. It also It also highlights how their team banned 4 British newspapers from attending an event at the World Trade Center. Oh, I go into that too in the video I keep talking about. Again, I'm going to flash it up here on the screen. Definitely check it out because I go into that. They're horrible, horrible people. And if you're ever on the fence like, maybe they're not horrible people, and you don't think about, everything they did to the Queen and Prince Philip, I'd say, think about everything they did right after they left the royal family, because this is part of it. Okay, so it goes on to say that the plan for the trip began 6 months before the event. Again, so this is what I want you to wrap your head around. They're calling it this event, and the plans made 6 months in advance. This was not a royal engagement. This was not a royal tour. They were treating it like that, and the idiots, they were meeting with them. And I'm not talking about the school people. It's not their fault. But I'm saying, like, these government officials that were making time and meeting with them. I'm sorry, I'm still here. I'm just furious. We're treating it like a royal event, right? Everybody was still buying their BS at that point. Not everybody, not us, but you know what I mean? These officials. Anyway, so Archwell representatives emailed the Department of Education 3 days before the visit. They requested the appearance release, which included the gagging clause, and asked them to run it by their lawyers. Another email from NYC Schools press secretary had asked for the best way to get it all agreed, but is not clear if the Sussex's request was signed. See, this is why I have to say allegedly. I've heard exactly this, but I'm not positive. It's my opinion. I don't think it was. And I'd heard things like people refused and they were pissed off. Rightly so. So again, this was all being orchestrated. The dumbasses were working on a press release to get this information out there. Like, ooh, we went to the school. Look, we're good people. They're terrible people. So the education, whatever I said that was, they wanted to remove the reference to the bench and said, quote, just wanted to make it a bit less promotion-y. Then the article wraps up by saying Daily Mail has tried to contact them for comment, no word yet. I'm going to wrap this up by saying this is all BS. I don't know why this is coming out now, but I think it's fabulous that it is. When I say it's all BS, I mean they are BS. I think it's fabulous that it's coming back out. I don't care if this was 2 years ago. I don't think we should forget about it, and I think we should remember their terrible behavior. So when we see them on stage, grabbing mics and trying to accept awards and get their names out there, we should remember this. And remember how they acted. And I'm lumping both of them together because they both suck. But by the way, Michelle Obama had just worn this previously, before Meghan went and did this. So in my other video, I talk about how she's cosplaying Michelle Obama. Notice the placement of Michelle's belt high up and how Meghan likes to do the same thing. So I think she was cosplaying her to try to get it written up in the paper like, oh, look, it's the next Michelle Obama. That kind of thing. Anyway, I don't get political here. I don't want to discuss it, but I just think knowing Meghan like I do now, I think that's the comparison she was going for. Anyway, I'm glad this is coming out. I don't care if it's 2 years later. I don't know why people are bringing this out now, but bring it on. I'd say maybe this is the sign of the floodgates opening and people finally realizing, hey, these are awful people. Let's talk about it some more. And I'm like, hey, come sit next to me, drunk goose. Like, we'll have some cocktails and we'll talk about it. Believe me, I am down to talk about this stuff. I could go on for hours about this stuff because I'll never forget it. They're disgusting people. You guys, however, are wonderful people, and I appreciate you being here, and I appreciate you all so very much. You're the best bunch of flockers this lady goose could ask for. I appreciate you all. I'm dying to know your thoughts on this one. Let me know. Okay, I want to start this one out by shouting out Resting Dollface. If you haven't followed her on Twitter, definitely give her a follow. She's so helpful and knowledgeable about so many things, and she gave me the inspiration for this video, so thank you, Resting Dollface. So recently I did a video, I went back over it with Dylan from Winning Communications, where we talk about Clueless and Cringe, new names for them, how they walk in late to this Royal Albert Hall event and make it all about themselves. It's so rude and obnoxious. What else is new for them? But Resting Dollface started pointing out all the times that they make, it's a pattern, right? They love to be late. They love to get all eyes on us. Look at me, right? It's incredibly rude, making it seem like only their time matters. So it got me thinking, and again, thank you, Resting Dollface, for helping compile this list of all the times that they've done this and made it about themselves and been completely late and making sure that only their time matters. So I thought, let's take a look and discuss some of their worst offenses of this. It's interesting, coming off the ESPYs and knowing how they acted and that, again, only their time mattered. we got the award that we paid for, and let's get out of here. It's all about us. So we're going to talk about times like this where they were late. So let's take a look and roll our eyes and discuss, shall we? I'm Jen, everyone. Thanks for being here. All right, let's kick this off with this one, shall we? Interesting to go all the way back. You know, I love these so much. These pictures, I call them her zombie mugshots. Please take a look and tell me what this pose is. Is it supposed to be sexy? Because again, it's like an alien mugshot. It looks like she's wearing last night's makeup and she's staring into my soul, and I'm scared. Somebody hold me. I don't understand what I'm looking at. Her hair is messy. I just don't get it. Oh, speaking of creepy, there's Marcus. That guy really creeps me out. Okay, so think about this. September 23rd, 2017. Now, this was the opening ceremony. 2 days later was this shot right here where they went public. But she was at the opening ceremony, so I guess that's when they went public. But this is where they put on that big stupid display with the ripped jeans. You know what I'm talking about. Honestly, I wasn't paying super close attention to them at this point, so it's interesting for me to go back and see all of this stuff play out. So it was 2016 when these leaked out. So we already knew that they were dating, but this was their big debut, I guess. I don't know. She'd been parading around forever. This was, September 2017. They announced their engagement in November, so not much later after this. But this was their, even though, okay, I keep circling back. She made sure that the press knew, in my opinion, that they were dating and got these pictures out. So that way they were forced to go public and then she could be a victim. Where have we seen this over and over and over again? I promise I'm going somewhere with this. We are getting back to the lateness, but look at this. So this was the day after the photos had leaked. Oh, the press is hounding us. No, idiot. Your girlfriend called them. Look at her. She's the cat that swallowed the canary. Look at this face. She can't hide it. Seriously, the worst actress ever. I gotta find another word besides seriously, but seriously, this face. So let's travel back. Invictus, 2017. This is a big deal for her because this is her serious girlfriend debut, right? She joined him for Invictus. And are you ready to be shocked? She showed up late. What? She'd use Invictus to make it all about herself and try to get attention? You don't say. Walking in the middle of ceremony so all eyes would be on her? If she did that, why did she look like this? She walks in late and sits next to Marcus. Maybe that's why she looked like this. She looks like something a cat coughed up. I'm sorry. I'm so distracted by this. I keep staring like, what is this? I don't understand how this is supposed to be part of her debut. I mean, at least she's wearing color back then, so there's that. It's just another ridiculous make it about her photo attempt. I'm going to walk in last so that way they for sure see me and my buddy Marcus over here. Dum Dum's up giving a speech on stage. He's just grinning like this, like, yeah, that's my girl. She's great. She's going to do great things. No, Harry, she's not. Which, by the way, when I was researching this, I found this article. Again, we know this, but it's another version of how they met. This time, it's Marcus introduced them. Interesting, right? Completely different than the other, what was it, like 3 versions of the same story that we've heard? They can't tell the truth about anything. What happened to, I was scrolling Instagram and I saw her dressed like a dog. Never not funny to me, by the way. But it really is crazy and reminds us all, even simple things like, hey, how'd you guys meet? They can't answer. All right, let's get into the next very obnoxious event that these two relate to. This is the Commonwealth Youth Forum. You may recognize this train wreck of an outfit. Seriously, I mean, is it just me? It's just too much. Look at me. Stripes on stripes on stripes on stripes. Nothing quite fits or exactly goes together, but I have a coat on my shoulders, so that makes me fancy. That's just too much. It's too much going on. She looks like a mess. So again, this was a youth forum, okay? By the way, this was her trench area where everything had buttons on buttons. Okay, anyway, I can't get off this stupid outfit. The dress wouldn't be so bad if it fit better, but just all the crap all over it, she just never gets it right. Okay, Commonwealth Youth Forum. This was right before they got married. This was, I'm stalling, let's see, April 16th, 2018. She arrived after the event began. Okay, you can actually see it in the picture here that I don't know who the organizers, whatever were rushing her to get in because she was so late. But look at her. Look at me. I got to stop and look for pictures like this. How rude. You're not even actually in the royal family. They're letting you do these things. And you're showing up late. Again, showing that your time is more important than everybody else's. There's Doofus right there. He was there with her. Again, both showing up late. What am I thinking? Messy, right? But really think about this because, nothing's fair. They're all mean to me and horrible. No, they made an exception for her. I found this article here that says it wasn't a thing. They made an exception and let her come to this event, be part of these kind of events even before joining the royal family. So it was a big deal. Of course, they show up tardy. Just rude. I mean, take a look at how everybody around her is dressed, and then take a look at her. And then take a look. That's a lot of take a looks, but look at this snap right here. I hadn't seen this before. Look at me. Look at my leg. I'm very fancy. Not quite in the royal family, but I'm almost there. Just you wait. All right, let's talk about this. Prince Charles, at the time Prince Charles, now King Charles. Prince Charles' 70th birthday party, 2018. Let's see here. This happened in May 22nd of 2018. Of course, the first event after their wedding. You guys, I was so distracted by how horribly they behaved at this event. And by they, I mean Meghan. Tongue out of her head. We'll get to that. Asked to leave. We'll get to that. That I didn't even know. There you go. Tongue out of head. I didn't even know that they also arrived late. So every possible horribly rude thing that they could do, that's what they did. All about, disrupting schedules, plans, causing inconveniences any way they possibly can. Disrespectful of others' times. Check. Yep. But I was so distracted by her tongue out of her head. I'm stuck on that. Where have I heard that before? Oh yeah, lots of stories about her tongue out of her head. That I didn't even realize that they had arrived late for this thing. Incredible. Just think about that. It's an event for King Charles. It's a garden party. How many, hundreds of people are there? Dum Dum's supposed to give a speech, and they're late for this event. Wild, right? Incredible. But it's not shocking. I mean, she was married at that point. It was their first event after the wedding. So why not? Let's be late. Let's make it about us. Let's say loudly, allegedly, I'm bored. This is boring, right? And be asked to leave. One of the cringy, craziest events ever. I really get stuck on this event as well because of how she acted. Who sticks their tongue out of their mouth like that over the age of, 4, 6, whatever age you stop doing that? Not 30-something or 40-something, depending on how old you think she is. It's wild to see. Incredibly rude behavior, but again, what else could we possibly expect? Normally, this is the time where I'd move on to the next example, but since we're talking about this anyway, can we please watch the video of them being asked to leave? Because it's one of my faves. Here we go. All right. Oh, goodness, brace yourself. Lots of tongue. Yep. Being tapped on the shoulder, told his father wants to speak to him, and it's not good. So people, there have been varying accounts, but I tend to, again, I love that Lady C book. She goes into it and her sources say they back up what we see with our eyeballs here, which is they were asked to leave because allegedly Meghan was being extra rude and saying loudly, "This is boring. I'm bored." Now, I had some lemon rats in my comments saying, no, they were leaving for their honeymoon. And I say to you, no, not right now. They were thrown out, in my opinion. It sure looks like that to me. So just think about that. So rude, awful behavior, thrown out. Still, they arrived late as well. It is funny that that's like the least rude thing that they did. Here they are after allegedly being asked to leave. Looking good, right? Happy faces everywhere. They're really good at car rides. Again, see that Mountbatten Music Festival for details. All right. Next, Royal Ascot 2018. All right, let's talk about this one. This would have been June 2018. So this was, I believe, one of the first right after their honeymoon. Wouldn't that be such a happy time? Not for these two. Let's make it about ourselves. So they go to Royal Ascot, and shocker of shocker, where are we going this? They're late. They're actually reportedly so late that I believe that the carriage was a little held up. So just think about that. Again, all about themselves. Punctuality, it's a breach of social etiquette, I believe, to show up late. And again, if they're holding up carriages, this isn't just, it doesn't matter if it's just their event. It's still rude, but it's not just their event in this case. It's the entire royal family. It's rude. It's, I mean, I don't know if you would use the word unprofessional in this sense, but it's unprofessional. Regular people know not to do that. And I believe the royal family are known to be punctual. I'm sure, again, security and other things happen occasionally. That's not what this is. This is a pattern. And by the way, speaking of pattern, dun, 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 the claw. The claw made its appearance. Dun, dun, dun. And then while researching this, I found this. Have you seen this? Breaking the golden rule. So, during this same outing, it is reported, you can see it here, that Meghan turned her back on the Queen. All right. So normally I'd say, okay, it happens. There's a big group. You may not be fully aware. Wouldn't you like freak? I know I would freak out and say, oh, whatever the nice way you say that. Your Majesty, my apologies. You turn, you face her, but here you go. Nope. Meghan clearly saw that the Queen was standing there, turned her back. See? You can see that the Queen's right there, turned her back. It's so rude. So rude. And I'm sorry, but you have the Queen and you have Princess Anne. You're going to turn around and talk to Doofus? Really? No. By the way, also found this picture when I was putting this together. Couldn't stop laughing. You know what she's doing? She's smiling at the trophy. She won't look at Doofus. She's smiling at the trophy because, she has a history there of grabbing onto trophies. All right. Now, let's talk about this one. I love that Australia trip so much because it was a shit show. It really was. All right. So this would have been October 2018. They had gone to Western Sydney, and it's MacArthur Girls' School. So, of course, they were reported to be late, as you can see here on the screen. The students were set to talk about a social justice project. Can you imagine where I'm going with this? They saunter in late. Shocker. Again, disrespectful of other people's time, making negative impressions. What happens next? Oh, you can guess. Meghan Markle makes it about herself. Meghan gives a speech and talks about taking out the trash as her first job. Does this match up with other stuff we've heard? Did she tell that damn soap story again? Do notice here she's saying, I went to an all-girls school as well, which doesn't match up with the soap story with their boys in her class allegedly said, girls belong in the kitchen. By the way, how funny is it that she is now in the kitchen, right? Like pushing the shit, like cooking and cleaning and gardening and all the shit she's pushing now. It's pretty funny. But yeah, again, I was so focused on the other negative parts of the Australia tour. See the Fiji market for details. See the tea throwing allegations for details. I could go on and on. The blood diamonds, all that. That I didn't even know that they were late to this event. All right. Then we have the Royal Variety performance. This was 2018. This would have been November 19th, 2018. They arrived late. They arrived after the start time. Again, they really like to do that in fancy clothes as well, it seems. But yeah, so they arrived late. And guys, this is the one this is the one where scratching was seen. We got photos such as this, and I have so many people saying, what's going on in this? All right. I'm going to bring this around to myself because I can tell you what's going on. I love the comedian Greg Davis. He's one of my favorites. I find him so freaking funny. If you know, you know. And if you don't know, I am a huge fan. Watch Taskmaster. It's my favorite show of all time. It's here on YouTube for free. It's great. Dying to be on it. So if anybody from casting is watching, I'm your girl. Okay. Taskmaster is an excellent show. Greg Davis is a hilarious comedian. If you watched my coverage of Spare, you know that it popped up on my phone. I was showing something out of the book and it popped up on my screen that my reward to myself after making it through that pile of garbage was to to listen to the Greg Davis album, Firing Cheeseballs at a Dog. So that's the story of that. Anyway, great comedian, very funny. He was at the event. That's why he was telling jokes about them. That's why they were making those faces. So they walk in late. They're quickly escorted in. I do have a video on this one because, we're going to want to watch this. Please tell me you remember this. I know you do. So many things wrong with this. They walk in late. It is November in London. She's in whatever this outfit is. And then it's the scratch. You guys, this is the scratch heard around the world. So here it is. Here's the video of them arriving late. She has time to go over and greet her adoring fan. They actually were liking her at that point before we realized what a narcissist she was. Thank you, HG Tutor. Enough time to grab one gift, hand it off, see a peasant scratch her crotch. Yep, you saw that right. And then touch her face and then shake this poor lady's hand. Oh, poor lady. Please go wash your hands. But remember, I don't know how to curtsy. Think medieval times. That's exactly how she said it in that interview. They walk in, they're greeted, and you can see they're trying to hurry up and usher them in because they are late for their performance, or for the performance. And since we're talking the scratching, I'd be remiss if I didn't show you, well, more scratching pictures. Of course, we have this one, busting in on a wedding and busting in on a scratch. Oh my God, I gross myself out sometimes. Of course, we just saw the scratching there. And then more recently, we have this scratching. I mean, I think they make a cream for that. Why they're always late. Then we roll into January 10th, 2019. SmartWorks event. I'm sorry, I have covered this event because of this horrendous outfit. Remember, it's wrinkled, and this is where she's wearing the patent clear cow print shoes. Oh God, the messy. I can't. All right, let's talk about this. So, first event of 2019 for Meghan. She was just assigned these patronages. And, you know, she's going to stick with them for a really long time, you guys, right? Nothing's going to drag her away from her commit. No, she doesn't stick with it. Okay. So again, late. And again, I'm thinking about the chronically late and being, it creates a negative impression. She's there to represent the royal family. I'm not letting Doofus off the hook. He just happens to not be at this event. It can disrupt schedules and plans and cause delays and again, it's inconveniences for everybody involved. But what does she care, right? So let's see. Did I say the date? January 10th, 2019 for this one. Now, this is kind of fun. When I was researching this one, I found that part of her duty with this was she was going to design like some sort of collection or something. I tried to find anything I could about it. Yeah, this was the only article that came out. Meghan Markle's new fashion line is so generic, it'll render you tabloid proof. Well, don't worry about that. She'll just call the paparazzi on herself in her generic clothing. That is just, it's funny. So she thought she was doing something special and apparently it was completely generic, like we continue to see from her. All right. You know, I just covered this one, so I'm not going to go deep into it. You can see I have 2 videos on this exact event. Definitely go watch them. I had a lot of fun talking about this, but this was Wimbledon 2019. The big controversy here, of course, is that she had all the seating around her for the peasants to be cleared out because she's too important. She wanted to make sure that everybody saw her, but then didn't want anybody to take pictures of her. Remember that. I'll never forget. Anyway, it's reported that she was an hour late for the match that she attended. So again, it's completely and totally rude. And it sounds like everything she did was completely and totally rude because making your grand entrance, as it were, making it about yourself, especially at a sporting event, is rude because you're trying to get people to look away from what's going on and to look at you, look at me, right? I wore jeans because I'm a jackass, and because of that, I allegedly couldn't sit in the royal box, so I'm sitting over here and had to clear out the peasants. I mean, just a total nightmare. Hilarious story with a guy you can see him taking a selfie there. She, of course, thought it was about her. Again, go watch my video. I break this all down. But arriving an hour late for this, Serena was probably happy about that because apparently, or allegedly, basically Meghan's been called a jinx to Serena's matches. So if she was late to that, maybe Serena had a chance. You know, this person brings up a good point. Diana would never have been this arrogant. And I find that especially funny because that's all that, you know, Hankins can bring up is the comparison to Diana. But as we've all said, they're completely nothing alike so far as I can tell. So, yeah, Diana would not have been a fan of her or these antics. All right, another one I have very much deep divot. I've deep dived this one a bunch because I'm obsessed with this one. One of my all-time favorite of the spectacles of these two. Definitely go back and watch these videos because I have two on this event as well. Mountbatten Music Festival. This would have been March of 2020. So again, making it all about themselves. You can actually see the video. I've posted it before where they're walking in late for this event. And they assume the applause is for them. The applause was for the band on the stage and the conductor and all, and the servicemen and women that were performing. Okay. Harry and Meghan take it to be all about them. At one point, I believe that Harry realizes, I don't think Meghan ever realizes, but the whole auditorium would have had to been psychic because they did walk in late and it's shown. And it doesn't make any sense. The audience didn't know when they were going to be there because, again, walking in late, it wasn't like a special, here's Harry and Meghan, because the conductor was on stage with the light directly on him. So, again, I'm yelling into the void. I get it, but it's just so crazy. It's so crazy that they're that arrogant, and I don't even know why I'm surprised because they are that arrogant, that they believe that the entire auditorium was cheering for them. Now, when compiling these pictures, I found this one, and I'm sorry, and also you're welcome. I'm sorry for this nightmare fuel. Whoever did this, you're a genius. Okay, moving on. Commonwealth Day service. This would have been March 9th of 2020, so just a few days later. They were late. Well, first of all, Commonwealth Day. Of course, she wears green. It's not easy being green. This outfit is so bad. Everything, so bad. Okay, so they were late, and not just a little late. It's reported that they were so late that they actually, they arrived after the other members of the royal family and kind of disrupted seating order. Because of it. So again, it's just a complete disrespect for others' time. They knew they were on their way out. They wanted to make this grand entrance, her in this dumb green Kermit dress. I mean, he's a Muppet all the time, but she dressed like Kermit here. No offense to Kermit. And it's absolutely crazy. Just wasting time, making sure all eyes on them, prioritizing themselves over everything else, everybody else, putting their needs first, expectation and accommodation that everything will be taken care of for them. Just entitled brats. It wasn't the only part of this that they were acting completely petulant either. Remember, Sophie and Meghan got into a staring contest. Sophie wins. I love my Sophie. And then this was the service where Meghan pushed the chair to get ahead of Sophie as fast as she possibly could. I mean, just complete and utter rude and pettiness. You got the other Muppet over in the corner, I don't know, being angry, whatever he's doing, thinking, we're going to go make it in America. I can't do his voice, but we're going to go make it in America and we're going to be great and we don't need you guys. Ha 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 ha. I'm laughing knowing how things turn out for them. And I'm also laughing about this dress. I'm sorry, can we take 14 hours and discuss this? I know I've been over this. I don't care. What in the flat squish boobs is going on here? What in the cot in the elevator is going on here? Everything about it is wrong. It looks like her head was put on wrong. I don't understand. Okay, so they step away, right? For privacy. We want privacy. We want privacy. And then they come back. And it's this moment. You know the exact one I'm talking about. This would have been June 2022. Think the Queen's Platinum Jubilee. What do? Do they show up respectfully honoring the Queen? No, they do not. They show up late. And again, so late that it actually disrupted seating, or it's reported that it disrupted seating. We've seen many pictures like this where they're walking in and look at everybody's faces around them. It is funny to take note of everybody's faces around them when they go places versus everybody's faces when William and Catherine goes places. I think that says a lot, especially the lady in the hat right there to the right. She might be me. She might be a member of our Drunk Goose Club, Honk Honk friend. Look at these pouty fill in the blanks, right? Like whiny, pouty things. Oh, look who's right behind them. Hello. Hello, keeping an eye on them. Heck yes. Okay. So instead of being respectful to Her Majesty the Queen, of course not, they chose to make it about themselves. They chose to be late. Again, look at everybody's faces around them. Look at the lady in the hat and the right. Again, that's might be the face that I'm making as well. I mean, just so ridiculous, right? And so they show up late. They make it about themselves. Again, disrupting plans. Making it's just a lack of respect for anybody. They don't care about the impact on others. They don't care about anything. Just complete breach of etiquette. Not that they know anything about that either. It's just, again, making about themselves completely. They were booed at this event. I have the screenshot here to prove it, but I'm sure you've heard it. They have been booed at this event. I find that very funny. And a reason why now they do weird things like, well, think about the ESPYs recently, right? So they didn't actually walk the red carpet. They just showed up, took some pictures, and then they make a hasty exit, before the thing's even over, just to risk the embarrassment of being booed. Not that these two seem to understand what it's like to be embarrassed. They just keep doing these crazy things and don't really give a crap. All right, I know you know this one, but let's talk about this. September 2023, Invictus. It was in Germany. What happened? 1,600 service people, okay, and like event people there at this event. Meghan walks in, makes it about herself, walks in late, makes it about herself, and talks about having to get milkshakes. Okay, I say that with a question mark in my voice because, again, you can't make this stuff up. Hi, I'm going to make it about myself. Look at me. I mean, it's not, what is she even doing up there on the stage? Why does she have a microphone? Why is she making it about herself? These are all questions we ask constantly. I know, but I have to ask it again. Why? And then to get up there, and instead of thanking everybody and celebrating the event, she makes it about herself while wearing, button down to her navel outfit. Makes it about herself and the milkshakes. And remember, she had done the stage paparazzi shots of her at an In-N-Out drive-thru. I mean, is it supposed to be like, ha ha ha, they got me, ha ha ha? It's so crazy. Go back to the event itself and I say, what is going on? Why don't we know the names of the men and women competing? Why don't we know more information? Because these two, Harry and Meghan, hijack everything, and they've hijacked this event. They've made it into a spectacle about themselves, including getting up there, grabbing a mic, and talking about what you're up to during the day. The next time you have a big work presentation, instead of talking about what you're meant to be talking about, make it about yourself. Grab the mic, unbutton a couple of buttons, and then talk about your day. Let's see how well that works and how long you last in your position. She seems to be celebrated for it. Not really, but you know what I mean? Like by the event people she does. It's crazy. Okay, let's go more recent, shall we? Think May 2024, just weeks ago, in Nigeria. She gave a speech at a women in leadership event. Guess what? She was over an hour late. What was her excuse this time, I wonder? Was it milkshakes? For somebody who pretends to be a feminist, who pretends to support people of color, who pretends to support Nigeria, over an hour late. Absolutely rude and inexcusable. Why does anybody want to hear her speak? I don't understand. The lady in the middle is speaking there, and look where Meghan's focus is. The camera. What else is new, right? I'm actually surprised she allowed the lady in the middle to be in the middle and didn't insist on the spot for herself. She made no comment on her tardiness. Oh, Dylan did a video about it too. Definitely check that out, Winning Communication. But she made no comment on her tardiness. Instead, made a joke about wearing more color. I mean, again, where is your head at? That's the importance of this event. Faux feminism, as always. Faux everything, right? But again, look at the actions, not the words. The actions never match up. Showing up late, making it about herself, disrespecting people's time. I'm sure that everybody throwing the event, everybody has plans. We don't have to wait around for you. I wish that people had just gotten up and walked out, but I think the people there were too polite. Just the expectation that people will just accommodate you no matter what is just beyond ridiculous. And I'm stuck on the idea that she's speaking at all, enjoying her microphone. Look at me. On women in leadership. What does she know about being a woman in leadership? She did 70 whatever it was engagements and walked away from it. Is that the example that we want? It's too hard. I gotta quit. I gotta leave. It's so crazy. Oh my gosh. So that is it. That is all the lates that I could find. I'm sure there's more. If there's one I didn't talk about, please let me know in the comments below. I am so disgusted by the pair of them. Just the expectation that everybody will bend around them, that they're more important, that their time is more important, that they're prioritizing themselves. It's not that this is anything new. It's just disgusting to see it laid out like this, isn't it? I really feel, I mean, again, we just saw them walk out of the ESPYs early, and it was my opinion that they arrived late. They may have arrived right on time, but anyway, it's just all about them. And so it's disrupting everybody else's plan to make accommodation for them. One of the most despicable videos I've ever found of Meghan Markle, and that is saying something. We see these two do a lot of awful things. This is truly shameful, and I'm excited to share it with you. I have not seen this before. I've been doing my deep dive of South Africa and the South Africa trip in 2019 and all the hideous things that they did. This takes the cake, and that's saying something. Well, I don't know. Playing victim next to a women's shelter, also pretty awful. But watch this. I have this new clip to show you. I'm just freaking out about it. Do share this one around if you don't mind. If you'll post it on your social media, I need people to get eyeballs on it. I took time and typed out the captions so you could really see what's being said and what happened. Share this. Share it on St. Meghan Markle. Share it wherever. I want people to get their eyeballs on it. But enjoy this video. I'm reacting to it with Dylan from Winning Communication. Here we go. Guys, I'm so excited today. I have back here with me Dylan from Winning Communication. Hi, Dylan.
Hey, thanks for having me again.
Of course, you're stuck with me now. I actually just had somebody in my comments say you're my work husband. I said more like my work sibling. I think of you as like a younger brother.
Yeah.
No, this has been one of my favorite parts of having this channel is meeting people like you. I've just enjoyed so much, and I'm just so glad to have you here. And I have you here for a doozy today, Dylan. I'm very excited. So I purposely have not shared this with Dylan because I want him to genuinely react. And let me just say, if you haven't checked out his channel, it's Winning Communication. He's excellent. He does really good job at reacting. Yeah, there you go. Reacting to videos, especially. He does all kinds of stuff, but especially Harry and Meghan. And so this is going to be right up your alley because we are going to have a reaction to this. Just you wait. So I have been on my channel, as you guys know, revisiting the South Africa trip. And the reason is because that one sticks out as one of the worst things I've ever seen. It was 2019. That's what made me take notice of how truly awful these two are. Dylan, did you follow or have you looked into since the South Africa trip at all or not so much?
Yeah, wasn't that the no one asks if I'm okay trip? She's like, oh yeah, that one's pretty crazy. You gotta say it
a lot more dramatic than that, Dylan.
Oh,
no one asks if I'm okay.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, and the passive aggressive, thank you for asking when he asks. Not many people,
Not many people have asked. Oh
my
yeah.
Gosh.
Yeah. So I go into that in a separate video, but you're so right. Just to remind everybody and to let you know, Dylan, do you know that she filmed that literally steps away from a women and children's center? Oh, sorry, shelter. Yeah. Where real atrocities are going on, and yet she's complaining and making about herself. So
of course.
Great. So today we're going to look at another doozy from this trip, and this was in Cape Town. So let me set the stage. This would have been September 25th, 2019. They're in Cape Town, South Africa as part of this 10-day tour. This event was called Mothers to Mothers, and Harry had gone elsewhere, so it was just Meghan at this event. So the purpose of this place, this Mothers to Mothers, is it's supposed to support women with HIV by training them to become community healthcare workers. So important cause, important event. You can imagine how this goes, right? All right. So what I thought, Dylan, is I'll just show you. Let me just show you the video. Now, guys, I spent so much time typing out subtitles because it is very hard to understand what's being said. So you'll see my subtitles. I'm putting the disclaimer that I did my very, very best, and I feel like I got 99% of exactly what was said. But listen and judge for yourself on this. Let's take a listen. And I'm gonna just I have to react, so I'm gonna be pausing it some, but just get ready. Okay, so here we are at this event. And right off the bat, you're going to notice, okay, Meghan, of course, has to be in the center. Immediately, she decides we need to sit on the floor.
Here, we can all sit down here because we can all get on the floor.
This nice lady says we can't get on the floor. You'll see Meghan's going to insist. Can I just show you one thing real quick? In South Africa, sitting on the floor is a sign of mourning. So when she says we can't sit on the floor, they're saying it for a reason, not just we don't want to sit on the floor. It's because it's a cultural thing. Meghan doesn't care. Yeah. Meghan makes it about herself. See, she says, come on, it's fine. Plus, I'd like to point out these ladies are there with little babies. Hard to hold a baby and sit on the floor. And a lot of them are dressed nicely. We see the lady in the beautiful red dress there. I wouldn't want to sit on the floor dressed like that. Meghan planned accordingly, wore a jumpsuit and was like, no, come on. Yeah. I need this photograph. Come on.
Exactly. Yeah.
So again, I'm going to let you react. I don't mean to talk over. I'm just letting you know to set the stage because it gets wild. It really does. Yeah. Here we go. Let's see. So he said, yeah, come on, sit down. No.
Yeah, 100%. Wow, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So again, I'm so sorry. I should just let this play, but I just have to fill you in. The guy speaking, I believe he's definitely part of her team. I believe he's some sort of PR guy or helper guy, something. So I just have him listed as guy speaking. So he quite literally says, allow me to introduce you to, and this is her name. I won't even try to say it. I'm sure it's a beautiful name. I just can't pronounce it. And just notice that Meghan just couldn't care less.
Okay. I can't be the only one.
No, come on. Wow, yeah.
Yeah, I can't be the only one sitting, and the guy's encouraging them to come sit down on the floor.
Yeah, and the thing is, I noticed, like, it's so much like I need the shot. Like, did you see the frozen smile? She has like, come on, guys, sit. Like, it's not a real smile. It's very forceful. And also that cultural thing. Like, even if you don't know the culture, she's the type, I think, who would say, like, oh, cultural insensitivity and, like, point, you know, her and Harry, whatever. But also, it's like just reading people. She had in her head, like, these people are props. She's not reading. They don't want to do this. Like, you know, you should be able to read something. Even if you don't know the culture, like, if they're like, oh, that's, you know, you can read. Like, oh, this is not the thing.
You are exactly right. Not able to read the room and just having her agenda more important than anything else. Exactly. Absolutely. Let's see.
No, come on. Yeah, you can't.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, sit on the,
That's right. Then why do you have chairs there? Why wouldn't you tell them in that we will be sitting on the floor and playing with children?
Yeah.
I'd also like to point out that this is the first trip they had taken, the first royal trip that they had taken Archie on, didn't bring him on this play group. I find that completely interesting. Is her child too good to play with these children? You know, what's going on there? And let's say that he's just tired from the travel. Okay, then maybe explain that instead of just showing up trying to latch on to other people's children to appear maternal. Here we go. So the guy speaking, come on. So here they are in their beautiful outfits sitting down with their babies. I mean, it's not cool.
I was thinking if it was Archie and we had all these toys in the middle, but I think it was...
I was thinking if it's Archie, we had all these toys in the middle, but I made him sit in the chair. So can't bring him to the event, but making it about how she and Archie have this bond.
Yeah. To me, it seems like she's almost, which is rare, making somewhat of an excuse for her behavior, perhaps, like, which is rare for her because she was so forceful And well, I think it's like, yeah, an excuse or a reason. It's like you all need to sit here, and then she's like making up a reason like why I had to force all of you to sit. It's for the children, right?
That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're exactly right. But we don't normally see her. Normally, it's just this is the way it's going to be done.
Yeah, and she also sped up when she said that. It really didn't sound like, a real thing. She's like, I can't imagine Archie, it's like she's like, come on, we need to go. Like, I'm going to scam you, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
You have to do it. Like,
yeah, don't think about it too much. I'm going to do this quick.
Yeah.
Don't ask any questions. All right.
So please, I'd like to know.
Okay, so this is important. This guy speaking says, now please, I'd like to ask, I think her name is pronounced Limpo, if she would continue, because the lady, Limpo, if I'm saying her name correctly, is the lady directly to Meghan's left in the chair. She's in the skirt. She's positioning herself, it appears to me, so that way she can tell the story. Again, I'd like to remind everybody, this is a place that helps women with HIV. And so she's about to tell this story, this incredible story of things she's had to endure and survive. Just watch Meghan.
What real quick thing though? So I didn't think of. HIV is people are immune compromised, right? Or right?
Yeah,
like so maybe
yeah,
that's part of the reason they don't want to be on the floor, right? Like
absolutely.
It is mass, but like they have,
It could be anything. It could be a medical discomfort. It could just be that I don't want to get on the floor with you.
Yeah.
You're basically a stranger to me. I don't want to sit on the floor with you. This is weird. Oh, let me explain this. Okay, so the video I have found and I'm reacting to jumps right here. I have found another part where it doesn't jump. It's hard to explain. I have to show that next. So I'm going to keep on with this. It looks like we've cut out of that moment. That's because this is a press video. So they purposely cut it out so you can't see how awful she is. So I will show you a little bit more of that in just a moment. I hadn't forgotten, and I didn't edit it this way. It's just how it was edited. But this flies in the face of her saying, the press were after me. Nobody's helping me. It's like, no, they were doing everything to help you because the true monster is hidden.
Yeah.
Crazy. Okay, so we'll keep going with this though. Wait, just watch this. Okay, in the spirit of community.
What's so nice is to be able to share some of the things that we have done at home.
So she's going to share some of the things we have at home to help these people.
Well, and so we can obviously make sure anything we need is provided. We brought some of the things that my friends and I use.
I brought some of the things my friends and I use for our kids.
For our kids and our children.
Happened to bring a camera crew with me to show you how generous I am, but just wait till you see what she brought. Things that Archie can't fit into anymore.
Are you kidding me? Here's our happy
Yes! When you like something from a royal prince.
Yeah,
I mean,
that is crazy.
Is that not the most patronizing thing you've ever seen?
Absolutely. That's the perfect word to describe it.
Yes. I feel like it bears mentioning too that she is wearing, it's actually less expensive for her because usually she's outlandish in the things that she wears. I figured out her total outfit cost that I could find. I'm including the jumpsuit, the shoes, and the gold earrings. I calculate to be about $1,060.
Yeah, for her, that's nothing.
For her, that's nothing. For most of us, it's like, whoa, that's ridiculous.
2 days ago or so with Prince George's birthday, she took photos. Apparently that outfit was like 65,000 pounds, which is like, what is that, like $80,000 or something?
Something like that. Ridiculous.
Yeah. It's like
oh my
car.
Gosh.
It's a fancy car.
I was going to say, it's both of our cars at my house, Oh my God. That is crazy. And just no self-awareness. Here we go. Okay, so look at that. Sorry. So the guy trying to help her says, shall I bring it around front? Meaning you're kind of being rude. Here's an entire group. She's like, no, it's fine. Meaning, no. I get to be the center of attention this way. Everybody,
Yeah.
look at me.
Yeah.
It's reminiscent of those flowers at the Queen's walkabout. Remember when Her Majesty the late Queen passed, and the aide tried to take the flowers, and she kind of snapped at him a little bit, like, no, I got this,
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
she wanted to be seen.
and it's like uncomfortable for the people how they're being seen. You
Yeah.
know how they have to like lean in, and even like her back is to them, so it's like a big asymmetry in
Yes.
like importance. Like everyone has to stare at me, even if it's my back.
Yes. So, yeah, I'm gonna hit play. I'm gonna replay this whole thing because I want to hear more.
Yeah.
You're so good at this, but I know you. I mean, I know a lot of people don't know all of this, so I'm filling it in. But you're so
sure.
good.
Just little things that I thought would be helpful.
This is Archie's onesie. And see, it's just like, I mean, does she think it's her baby shower? Because this is how you would treat a mother at a baby shower. You know, she sits in the middle, opens things, and everybody goes, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's outgrown it. He's Invictus.
He's outgrown it now. So my baby can no longer wear it. So perhaps it's okay for your children.
Yeah, it's really treating them like they're like
second class. I don't know.
Yeah, or like very, very poor. You know, it's very like, oh, like you need hand-me-downs. Like I'm not saying you know, reusing things is good, but just the context of it is just very strange.
No self-awareness. You're there on a royal tour. To me, it'd be much more appropriate to say, you know, we would like to gift you X amount of money towards, you know, causes or helping or whatever it is.
Exactly. You know, I'm just thinking, like, I'm imagining, like, Prince William on a royal tour and just, like, oh, here's the old socks. And, you know, like, any royal doing that, just passing out, like, oh, here's my old tennis shoes for you. You know, it's like,
exactly. It's right. Our children no longer need them. So perhaps now your children. Yeah, to your point, that's totally appropriate if it's like your nephew and your you know, but no, this is a royal event, and this is a you know, it's obviously a charitable cause. That's so condescending.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Again, I thought she probably thought it was going to be a good story. Like, Meghan's so relatable. She gives, you know, Archie's clothes. Like, what the heck?
Absolutely. And listen, if she was somebody, again, like a regular person where that's all you have to give, by gosh, do it. Help people. That's not what this is.
Exactly.
But at any rate, there's all sorts of things there that I thought, you know, it's so...
Okay, I'm sorry. She's just milking this moment. I'm in the center, and everybody look at me.
Yeah.
I thought this was so important. It's not that it's an important cause to help other women or to help children or people in, you know, certain circumstances. I thought it was so important.
It's important to be able to share what's worked for our families and show that we're all in this together with each other.
We're all in this together with each other. Except for we're not. And I'm going to remind you all of this by every possible way I can.
So we just wanted to share something from our home to each of yours. So you'll have this in there, a couple other bags back there.
So this part was so hard to understand. Please, if you want to go back and listen and figure out what she's saying, you will have something bags back there as well. And I listened to it 100 times. I had Jay listen to it. We think she said quarter, but that doesn't really make sense. So I don't really know what she said there. Some sort of bags back there as well. But I scoured the internet. I could not find any. You'd think she'd plastered if they gave, I don't know, $100,000 donation. I didn't find anything like that. Nothing.
Look at who's having the best time. Living her best life. So thank you. It's really a special day. Thank you for having me.
So that's it for that video. I will do anything that you want to do. If you want me to play it back and you fully react, go for it. If you want me to play the other part that was cut out, I can do that, whatever.
Maybe we could play it and I'll react just a little bit, just so we get it more, you know, front to back or whatever.
Let's
beginning
do
to end.
that.
I'll just say like a few comments. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll just hit play and I'll stop anytime you want. Here we go.
We can all sit down here because we can all play. Get on the floor. Come on, it's fine. Let's all play.
I'm sorry. We can't get on the floor. She's actually pleading. I'm not trying to exaggerate. We can't get on the floor.
And seeing it together, like the speed of reaction, no, it's fine. It was very dismissive. Like, you know, if you hear the tonality and like, no, come on, it's fine. Very dismissive.
Yeah.
I'd like to introduce you and ask you to continue.
I can't be the only one.
No, come on, everyone needs to come back. Please.
I was thinking if it was Archie and we had all these toys in the middle, but I think it was in the chair and just that one thing.
Yeah, again, seeing it like in the totality, just the dismissiveness, like, and that woman was almost like pleading, we can't sit on the floor. No, it's fine. And then no, and she's like, come on, like sit on the floor, and just the man's trying to maybe redirect it and say, I'm going to introduce you, just totally dismissive. Like no one's opinions or thoughts matter. And I think it's a mixture. She wants a photo. It's also ego. You know, like she wouldn't can't go down there and then get back up with no one following her. So that might be embarrassing. But again, that's also a mistake on her part. Like she's just so bullheaded and doing what she wants. Like a better thing would be like, oh, do you guys, you have to be more gentle. Do you want to, hey guys, should we play with the toys? Like, oh no. Then the people don't have to be so forceful and like, we can't do that.
Yeah, you're so right. I just keep thinking too, there's no way that any of this was a surprise to her. They had to brief her. Okay, this is what you're going to be doing.
Yeah.
You will be meeting with this woman who's going to explain her story. Yeah. And she had to have known. I just don't believe in my gut. I don't believe that any of this was a surprise.
Yeah.
So it makes it worse. It's like, I'm going to sit on the floor with my back to you.
Yeah.
Nothing you say matters.
Yeah.
Just wait till you see the next clip where she actually does tell the story. It's frightening.
Yeah.
I'd like to now ask him so she would continue.
In the spirit of community, what's so nice is to be able to share some of the things that we have done at home as well. And so, we can obviously make sure anything we need is provided for you. We brought some of the things that my friends and I used for our kids and Archie. Then he said, don't fit anymore. No, it's fine. Just little things that I thought would be helpful.
Well, right there, it's the same no, it's fine. And again, that's why I like, watching both ways, like the quick cutting it more and then looking, like, because you can see how quickly she says no, it's fine. Yeah. That's someone who's not even listening to what the other person's saying. It's, again, just shutting them down. Like, oh, whatever. No, it's fine. Like, it's very much shutting the person down. That's really consistent here.
You're so right. That's a great point. And it's my whole thinking here is, she just needed to be center of attention. And I stand by that. But I'm realizing too, look at the angle we're looking at. The cameras are clearly where we are.
And everything's like towards her.
The guy would have blocked her shot. So
you get an elbow. You get a big elbow.
Right.
Doing that.
Just ask Hasno balls, right?
Yeah.
I just find that so patronizing. I keep saying it, but that's the only word I can think of. That she has these women clapping for her, bringing her hand-me-downs to them.
Right? That's a good point. It's ridiculous.
Oh.
This one too. He's outgrown it. It's Invictus one. But at any rate, there's all sorts of things there that I thought, it's so important to be able to share what's work for our families and to know that we are all in this together with each other. So we just want to share something from our home to each of yours. So you'll have his and there are a couple other bags back there as well.
I just heard it. He said there's a couple other bags back there as well. Not quarter,
cool.
Couple other.
Oh,
I listened to that thing
100,000
times.
Good. I was trying to listen. I was very curious. I'm glad you got it. I didn't get it.
Couple other things back there. A couple other bags back there. Of what? Used clothes?
Yeah, probably. Like,
Hey,
oh, I
Bill and
found.
Allie drank half my Starbucks. I'm going to send it to you, man. You're welcome.
Yeah, exactly. The thing I noticed, she here though, even though she's so bullheaded, I think she sometimes is actually noticing the awkwardness, maybe because she's kind of talking a little fast, a little awkward. Like, oh, so I have these things, I have that. Like, I don't know. It just she's just awkward. I
So
just
where
put
are
it
you
that.
going with that? Do you think she's aware of how cringe this situation is, or her own
Maybe she's
behavior?
not getting the reaction she expected. Like maybe
Oh,
she
okay.
thinks she's so great that it's like, oh my gosh, you've touched this. You know, maybe
Oh,
because
a
I just know she
royal
started
baby
talking.
has worn this? Yeah.
Yeah, because I know she started like repeating the same thing a few times. Like, oh, these are things, and it's community. And she's saying it several times, so maybe
Mhm.
just not falling the way she expected. That's
Oh
just
my gosh.
a educated guess, but she definitely does speak a little faster and
That's such a good catch.
repetitively. Yeah.
Yeah, look at who's having the best time. Living her best life. Thank you. It's really a special day. Thank you for having me.
Oh, that's it for that
Cool.
clip.
Yeah.
Crazy.
The other one, yeah.
All right. So I do want to go ahead and give a shout out on this one. I looked and looked and I kept thinking, I did a lot of homework on this one, and I kept thinking, why does that clip jump like that? Again, that was a press video that was sent out. And so I was able to use it because of fair use and because of that. I want to give a shout out to the Royal Grift. A lot of people know of the Royal Grift. She does such a good job researching her videos. I'm a big fan, really enjoy her work. She's the only one that I could find that had some of the cutout footage. So I encourage you to go watch her video. She did the work. She's great. Definitely go watch it. I used just a few seconds of hers, but she has more of it. So I again shout out to the Royal Grift because it bugs me when people use our stuff. I've seen them do it to you, Dylan, and they've done it to me, and then they don't credit it. Full credit, Royal Grift. Go watch her video on this. In fact, I'll flash it up on screen. This is where you can find more to this clip because she's the only one that's found it. I've looked everywhere. Go ahead.
Okay, forget the point. I was trying to point where you're gonna flash it.
No, it's okay. All right, let's see here. Okay, so here is the video. I'm going to hit play on this.
So please, I'd like to now ask Ms. O.
Let me go ahead and explain. I could not get subtitles on this. So much is said that I don't understand, and that's okay. I don't think it matters. The part that you need to know is that this lovely lady is about to share something so personal about her story living with HIV and her experience and you know how she contracted it and stuff and what it's like, and just take in what's going on with Meghan while this lady is trying to explain this.
Thank you so much, friend. Once again, Your Highness, it's a great honor. My name is Invictus.
She's introducing herself, saying my name is, and telling her what's going on.
I'm a mom of two girls. I have the first time in Invictus.
She's explaining that she has two children. I believe she's saying that they're older teens.
10 years old, and the last one is
Yeah, what the hell? Meghan just couldn't care less. Not
Couldn't
even
care less. You saw so quickly she's looking at it and then just looks like, oh, you don't matter. Like you could literally see like the calculation in her head, like losing interest. Yeah.
That's exactly it. To me, it's like somebody's trying to sell you a credit card for the grocery store you're at.
It's exactly how you treat someone who's like kind of low status or annoying, right?
Yes.
Like, it's like when you see someone, everyone's ignoring them, and then you talk to them and you go, whoops, there was a reason.
Yes.
But not saying there's a reason for this woman, but that's how she's
No,
treating
I know
her.
what you're
Just like,
saying.
okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Somebody's trying to sell you something you don't want to be sold on, but you don't want to be full on rude. So you're just like, no thanks, no thanks.
Yeah. Crazy.
5 months old, almost the same age as baby Archie. Oh my God.
She was talking about something about the same age as baby Archie. Again, very hard to understand, but that's what Meghan's reacting to. Not this woman's story that something ties back to Meghan.
And currently I'm in a good space, but things haven't always been easy for me.
So this is important. Sorry, I keep pausing it. She's saying, currently I'm in a good space, but things have not always been easy for me. And then goes into her story. Watch Meghan.
I was actually married at a very young age of 19 and was married to my husband who was actually 7 years older than I was.
So there she's explaining that she got married at 18. I don't want to put words in her mouth. The way I am understanding it is that it wasn't necessarily a marriage she wanted to enter. She was pushed into this marriage at 18 years old, and he was significantly older. I thought she said 80 years older, but I don't think that's what she said. But significant, however many years older.
Yeah. I thought she said 70. Yeah.
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
17 or something.
I don't know. Maybe it's 17 years old. Whatever it is.
70 would be it's like 90. Yeah.
Significantly older than she was, whatever it was. And she's not speaking super fondly of the situation.
Yeah.
And about 2 years in my marriage, we were pregnant. And
I believe there she said, I was cheated on during my marriage and also fell pregnant, something like that. Like, I think,
part of making sure that the mother and the child are healthy, I went to the clinic for my facility.
So she was going to a clinic to have pregnancy-related checkups, and that's when she found her status there, that she was positive.
For my clinic, for my pregnancy services. Yes. And as part of the routine, that was where I had to test for HIV, and the result came positive.
So she just revealed she had a positive test for HIV during her pregnancy.
That is insane. Yeah, Meghan's literally like, oh, look at the toy. Oh, yes. And when she said yes, it's like, yes. It's just so not. That's unreal. That is so socially off. Wow.
It's the most horrendous thing I could think of. Think of any other royal family or just any other human being. Somebody reveals something like this to you, even if you don't know them, if they tell you this, your reaction is not generally to turn your back and smile at a kid. It's to turn toward them.
There's so many levels to it. Yeah, like, she's treating it like, like you said, credit card person coming and talking about their problems, and it's just like a social contract that just like socially, if someone's talking to you about something that serious, you have to listen. Even if you don't, most people will care, but not even Meghan, if she didn't care, it's just like socially appropriate. You can't just be like, oh yeah, you had HIV when you're 17 and pregnant, 19, whatever. Okay. Oh, crazy.
Yeah, exactly that. Oh, it just is disgusting to watch. It's just vile. Oh, that's the end of the video. That's all I got. But definitely go back and watch the Royal Griff, because she, again, I believe she had a little bit more to it, and I don't want to use anybody's anything without their permission. But incredible. If you don't mind, can we watch this one again? I just need to react.
Sure, yeah, that could be good. Yeah.
I'm obsessed. Here we go.
So please, I'd like to now ask Nicole if she would continue.
Thank you so much, friend. Once again, Your Highness, and great honor. Thank you. My name is Binta. I'm a single mom of two girls. Yes. I have the first one is Invictus.
Do you know what vibe I'm getting right there that I didn't pick up till just now when she said, yes. Do you remember when she wore that, I call it the boobs east and west dress, that bright red tomato dress?
Yeah.
Somebody asked her something like, are you proud of Harry? And she kind of gives a smug over her shoulder look and goes, I'm always proud of him.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of a smug, like, yes.
Yeah.
7 years old, and the last born is in top. He's actually 5 months old, almost the same age as baby Archie. Oh my god! And currently I'm in a good space, but things haven't always been easy for me. I was actually married at a very young age of 19.
I get stuck on this. So she's saying things have not been easy for me getting married at the age of 19. Oh. So even the other women, it's hard to see them all, but like they're trying to be respectful, because clearly this woman's telling an emotional story. I would say, look at the lady in the orange's face, more appropriate, listening, look at Meghan's face.
Yeah, and it's awkward for them too, because it's like Meghan's the leader setting the tone, and she's trying to set the tone like, this is not an important person, let's ignore them. focus on me, focus on what we're doing. So it's awkward.
Yeah, it is.
And was married to my husband, who was 87 years older than I was. And about 2 years in my marriage, we got pregnant. And as part of making sure that the mother and the child are healthy, I went to the clinic for my facility, for my clinic, for my pregnancy services. Yes. And as part of the routine, that was where I had to test for HIV. And
I'm just thinking, like, even if you're trying to tell me a serious story and there's a dog here, I love dogs and I love kids, so I'm always going to react. But I promise you, if you're in the middle of telling me a serious health story, I can wait a second to pet that dog or talk to that kid. I just, cameras are pointing at you, in her situation. What is she thinking? Just of herself.
Yeah, it's crazy, and it's awkward because like the woman notices when she's saying it. Like it's just awkward, like talking, being left hanging. I also felt a little guilty because I probably would pet the dog. I wouldn't even be thinking. I'd be listening like, oh, dog, give us a dog. But I would,
But you probably wouldn't turn your back to the lady.
Yeah.
You'd be like, ha, 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 when she's telling you a horrendous story of whatever,
Yeah. And Meghan's not even, like, she's looking at toys. She's just losing interest. It's crazy.
It really is. It really is. And she's supposed to have been an actress. Of all people, you'd think she could feign interest or whatever.
Well, you know what? It's not a great shot, right? Like, if you take a picture of that, it's Meghan talking to one woman in a chair. It's like, whatever, to her Meghan. But here she gets shots of Meghan on the floor with all the mothers who feel so comfortable with Meghan. From the picture, obviously they're very uncomfortable, forced into that position. But
exactly. Yep.
Pain positive.
That's it for the clip, but
and I feel you could see the very end of it. She's breathing in. It's awkward. Like she feels that awkwardness where you're talking and then someone's ignoring you, and it's like awkward. Like just stop in the middle. It's kind of a little humiliating. Yeah, it's just it's crazy.
It is. You're exactly right. I think the lady can sense that Meghan's just not listening. But if you've already started and that assistant guy has already slated you to tell your story, what do you do? Do you stop in the middle and say, hey, listen?
Yeah. And the thing is, like, this is exactly what someone who is genuine should be doing. If you're actually there to help, women with HIV and all that, that's why you go to the thing, is to listen to them and learn. And if it was genuine. But, Meghan and Harry, it's just the run around and get PR tours. You know what? It reminds me of, okay, this person's very private, but I have a friend, who they used to work in domestic violence.
Okay.
And they had, like, what was it, Miss New York or something came? And she literally came, like, dressed up all, like, pretty with her sash and, like, ran around and, like, took pictures. And it was, like, was just interrupting things to take pictures and ran out. It was the most ridiculous thing. She just came in, like, interrupted things.
Oh, my gosh.
Was like, here, like, put her arm around people and just left. But
so that way she could say she helped victims of domestic. Oh, my gosh.
The thing is, though, it's unfortunate that, I mean, Meghan does it to an art form, but this has been around for a while, like these shady PR companies where it's just like they're gross. Like they plan. I talk about some of my channels sometimes. Like they plan out, like, oh, let's get you to like run around and interrupt people's work, and we'll take pictures so you look good. Like it's all about image. But
it's like a politician holding a baby. I don't care what political party. I'm not trying to go political, but any politician holding a baby, it's icky. Like, no, if it's not yours, leave it alone.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a picture. Yeah.
Oh, but the only other thing I wanted to add to this is this that I found when I was researching it. I found that this tour was the most expensive of any of the royal family at the time. They're saying of 2019, 2020, I guess, travel season, whatever.
Yeah.
That was the most expensive. So that's the things I want to point out is they both are doing these awful things, and yet they're complaining that the press is being unfair, even though the press is clearly, as you could see by my video, covering up for them, cutting out the worst of it. And the royal family's being unfair. The royal family spent more on them than anybody else.
Yeah.
So you can't make it make sense.
First of all, how can you spend that much money on a trip? And I did think of, not to be off topic, but something I do want to promote just because it's an important thing, and not a lot of people have talked about it, is Harry's history with horses. Not to go too off topic, but just protected from the press.
Yeah, absolutely.
Unreal.
Yeah.
Do you know he? Yeah, I won't get off topic, but there's
I've talked about it. It's hard
to
talk about, but I know exactly what you mean. I think it's important to call out the awfulness.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But so I'm so glad to share this with you and react to it. Guys, leave me comments on this one. Leave Dylan comments on this one. What are your thoughts on all this? And then I'm going to recircle to this one more time. They sit on the floor as a sign of mourning. And yet, Miss I studied international blah at Northwestern doesn't realize that. And fine, I don't expect that everybody's going to know every cultural norm. But if somebody tells you, no, we don't sit on the floor, then you probably should listen.
Yeah.
Like I might not know off the top of my head that, but then I would think, oh, maybe it's a religious thing. Maybe it's anything. Maybe
or
it's
they
a
just
comfort.
don't want to, and they're a person,
Right. I'm 40, whatever. I don't want to sit on the floor.
Yeah.
So,
And also, I'll just say once again, it wasn't like an exuberant, like, come on, guys, let's do it, like, genuine. It was like, I'm going to force you guys to do this,
Yeah, you're exactly right. Yeah. My photo op is more important than your comfort and your wishes. Yes.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. Oh, awful. Wow. Thank you so much for watching that with me. Yeah, anytime. So, of course, you're Winning Communication. Tell us how we can help your channel. We'll go watch, and you want us to honk at you in the comments? What can we do?
Definitely come comment. Subscribe if you haven't. Turn on notifications. You're supposed to say that. I never said it. So
I never say it either.
There's like percentages. It's like supposed to be higher. And if you want to watch it, I edited it out, but I did a video with Harry and the horses recently.
Okay.
And that one is something that I want out there because, I edited it so you don't see any of the things, but it's pretty crazy, like his history. It's, really
Do you
bad,
remember the name of that one so we can find it? Oh, you froze. I said, do you remember the name of that video? So
it's what did I name it? I don't know.
That's okay. Well, send it to me afterwards.
It might be like Harry's troubling history with horses or something like that.
Okay.
I'll send you the link.
Perfect. I will
something about Harry and horses. Yeah.
Share that here, but we'll definitely go watch that. And thank you as always, Dylan. I'm sure I'll be bugging you again soon. And hey, we're in real time about to record some stuff for your channel, so that should be up probably by the time this is up. So go watch it. And I've done a few things over there, so go watch that.
Yeah. I still have more to post.
Yes.
The second half. Okay.
Oh goodness. All right. Thanks so much as always, Dylan. We'll talk to you again soon.